Okay. Looks like we have a quorum, at least the one that we have at 1900. So welcome to the January Burr W7PRA meeting. I'm Paul N0VLR, chair of the board, and let's do some introductions. I think we all know each other, but just for the recording anyway. How about Ted in my top left corner?
I am Ted at W7RTM in the suburbs of Philomath, so to speak.
Excellent. Anthony?
Anthony, KE7OSN in Staten.
Okay. And the other Paul?
Paul Branchfield, W7PEB from close to Looking Glass, if you know where that is,
Oh,
somewhere
And,
near Roseburg.
Mike, you've got the middle square on my screen.
Okay, Mike, W7RIS, about 10 miles north of downtown Corvallis.
Excellent. Mr. Larry?
That is Larry, AF7NU in the north part of Corvallis.
Excellent. Ron, I haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Ron Post, AE4JL in Millersburg.
And Mr. Scott, I've half dialed you a couple of times since the last meeting, and I just got busy. So introduce.
Hi, everybody. I'm Scott, Kilo Fox 7 Golf November in middle of Corvallis. And that's okay, Paul. We'll get a chance to talk.
Yep. And Andy, W7 AAU. Andy's on mute. He might be detained. But just want to let you know, Andy, you're on mute, but we can continue in case you're tied up. That's fine. Be safe. All right.
Hey, Andy here. Can you hear me now?
There you are. Does everybody have time to let Mike do the, Mike, do you have a presentation tonight?
Sure do.
Okay. Everybody have time to meet after that, or do people have to bug out? I can flip it around, but I like the presentation to go first whenever possible. I'll take that as a yes. All right, if we could all mute our mics for the common good of all, and we'll let Professor.
I was going to say, I want to listen to Mike. I don't want to mute him.
Ron, it's muting the other way. All right, we'll move on to the less exciting part of the meeting. We'll do the business just to keep us in alignment here. So in the business portion, we have secretary's report.
So this week I sent out the meetings from our last face-to-face meeting at Tommy's. There wasn't a whole lot of business conducted there. So if there's any comments, additions, deletions, or corrections, please let me know. W7RTM@ARRL.net or rusty.hinge, whatever works.
And Ted, I usually comment on it, but I was busy crabbing off the coast of Coos Bay and I couldn't read my little phone. So
Yeah, you are. You're
yeah,
crabby.
that's how I am. I am crabby. Still eating their leftovers. Thank you, Ted. Andy, looks like you've got audio.
Do I have audio now?
You do.
Wow.
Yeah, let me you know what? Let me see if I can bring up your email, and then we can you can talk us through it. And then there it is. I will share it on the screen momentarily. Let's see, record. Let's see, share. Here we go. Share. 3. There we go. Share. All right. There we go. All in live and living color.
Okay. Without reading through the list, the bottom line is our total cash assets are $4,000.84, spread out amongst checking, savings, a PayPal account, $1.68 in our Square account, and 43 cents of cash. But anyway, the important thing is we have $4,000.84 total assets.
That
As
was,
of-
that was a good wake up, Andy. Thank you. I thought we were gonna buy out the next Hamfest tables.
Yeah, that, good thinking on my part.
There you go. No, I always say dress for the part you want, not for the part you have. There you go. So, thank you. Excellent. Thank you for your efforts there, Andy. Appreciate it. Any questions for Andy on that regard, or for Ted in that matter? Yeah, you're right, Ted. It was a pretty light topic meeting. It was mostly face to face, eyeball QSOs, which is the way we like it on occasion. So, Andy, one more question. I had this listed in here from a long time ago. Are you still looking to maybe shift out of that role for this year? And this is sort of a pre awareness for everybody. Or are you looking like you'd maybe like to continue? Because I know that's coming up in March, but if you're ready to say something, that's fine. And if you're not, then we can just postpone until next meeting.
Yeah, I am willing to pass on the job if somebody wants it. I'm perfectly willing to continue. I just thought that at the very least, we ought to have somebody else who is who knows, exactly what I'm doing. And more specifically, I have been filing the state forms. Because we're a nonprofit corporation, we have to file with the Oregon Department of Justice and with the Department of State 2 forms annually. And many of them have to contain the financial information, which I can provide, but the treasurer doesn't necessarily have to be the one to file those 2 forms.
Yeah.
So I would like to start sharing the responsibility for doing those 2 forms, more for the capability of more than just I knowing how to do it. So you don't have to go through what I did when I took over and discovered this, with this stuff that needed to be done. So coming up, so I'm perfectly willing to continue to do the financial part, but as we move into this year and we have to file the corporate forms with the state, I would like to share with somebody else, sit down with a cup of coffee somewhere and fill out these forms with somebody else so that they know how to do it. Also, I've been having a lot of health problems. I've been in the hospital about 3 or 4 times. Yeah, 3 times in the past 12 months. And I'm getting up there in age, and right now I'm in good shape. But I see about 5 or 6 doctors constantly. I've been dealing with cancer for 20 years, and I'm still doing well. But I'm 78. It's time for some other people to know what it is I'm doing in case I get sidelined again. More specifically, if I end up, like in the hospital and we need somebody else to take over. So right now, of course, Paul, you're on the banking documents, so you can do the banking that's necessary and write a check and stuff like that.
Yep.
But there's those 2 really important things that are not necessarily part of a treasurer's job, and that is filing the corporate documents with the state of Oregon. So when they come due, I'll give a shout out, and I would like to sit down and have somebody else sit in with me while I do that so that they are cognizant of how to do it, should I be unable to do it in the future.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate it. All right, we'll make a note of that, and we'll come up with an action plan so that we have suitable backups. And we'll go from there. So best of health to you, Andy, as you take care of you, right? We appreciate all your service, but we care that you're taking care of you. That's number one. Mr. Ron, do you have anything for the website as far as to report in or out?
Oh, really? I'll even confess, I don't think I've looked at it in the last 30 days.
Okay.
Hey, I got a comment here, if I can interject. Do you think it's prudent to end up posting our Zoom meeting information on the website? So if anybody out there wants to end up joining us, or do you think that's a liability?
I mean, it's on YouTube, right, Anthony? Yeah, so it's just a
The
link.
recordings are on YouTube, but the link to actually join the meetings as they happen.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about, is to join the
sorry.
meeting.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you
Okay.
both for clarification.
I'll put it this way. So the Willamette Valley DX group, their Zoom meeting information is posted on their website there, so it's open to anybody to join.
Okay.
And I just, is that something that we want to include on our website?
So is it something where we can have one link that doesn't change every month?
I keep using old ones. They don't seem to work.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I can get that posted up there.
Yeah, Anthony was going to say something, but I think Mike said pretty much what Anthony was going to say. And it's the same link that we use every month that we get from the ARRL user pool or something. Okay. So, Ron, I'll send you the link and copy Anthony, and that way he can double check me. But that's how we join our monthly meetings. You can, the time. If we have a calendar or some sort of a widget or something that says, here's a calendar, add it to your calendar. And it's not just the link, but it's when it is. That's always a helpful thing. I've posted and spoke and stood on rocks and soapboxes wherever I could about, the 2-meter simplex contest. And the comment I got back 80% of the time was, oh, I forgot it was happening that weekend. I'm like, okay, next time you're all getting smartphones and smart calendars. So good idea. All right. I've spoken about this enough, so I'll mention it really briefly. If anybody who doesn't know this already, we have a Facebook group, W7PRA Repeater Network, aka Chris runs a group called W7PRA. And it's a group on Facebook, and it gives you updates and maps. I shouldn't say maps. Updates and pictures, sometimes from webcams of the tower sites. I know everybody's been asking about, do we have a repeater coverage map and all that? That technology and the person who was running that website is not available to create that. But with some smart software and some rough locations, we could probably estimate what the footprint is if we just had somebody who wanted to do it.
I could do that, Paul.
Yep.
Because
So, Scott, I'll catch up with you later, and
Yeah.
then we can have a short conversation with Chris, and I have some updates in that regard too. So
Can we get access to that propagation capability that used to be on the website that Chris ran, where you could get a map and it would particular? That's not
Yeah.
available? Because that was
That-
good.
yeah, all of that software is really good. It's just hard getting a hold of it. You got to know somebody who's in the professional communication networks to be able to get a license to those things. And like Mike said, that, you know, there was something meant for like the lower frequencies, and he adjusted it and hoped that the math worked along the way. Maybe it was linear progression, maybe not. So it's a little bit, you could use it in good faith and come out with the wrong answer, is what I'm saying. Okay. So the only thing I have for upcoming events, I do have a new business item, but we'll get to that later. The upcoming events, I know, is Winter Field Day is coming up this weekend. If you want to at least give some points to a teeth chattering group somewhere in the north who's was brave enough to go set up a tent in middle of, you know, Frostbite Falls, Minnesota or something, go for it. But Winter Field Day in Scottsdale, Arizona is not quite the same effect. But that is happening this weekend. It's I'm going to post the link here in the chat window in case anybody's interested. There's all the. It's a very small web page, and you know there's like a rules page and a contact page and an old score page. It's pretty basic, but it is something. It does gather quite a bit of interest. I know Scott and I ran a Winter Field Day here at my house a couple years ago. It is fun. There's people out there, a lot of home stations. A lot of people can't get out. Some people do mobile, some people do portable. A lot of activity for POTA. I mean, there's a ton of POTA activities at the same time. So if you're looking for parks on the air, I mean, that's a great way to do it because the people that are doing Winter Field Day are going to parks. And so they're getting double bonus. It's January, and we've got January, February, March. Anybody in that window have any other upcoming events that they happen to know about? I just don't have anything listed here.
As Scott mentioned, there's going to be a tech class and general VE session. The class will be January 31st in the evening, February 1st all day, and then the VE session will be on February 2nd in the afternoon. And if you want to sign up, then go to bcares.org. I think we're somewhere around 8 or 9 students signed up for the class, and somewhere about that many signed up for taking the exam already. So
Yeah, I'm gonna start contacting them pretty soon.
That's excellent. You guys do a great job of pulling in some new hams. That's a great activity. And I did see your posting. What was it on the Benton County SAR site or the sheriff's site or something?
yeah, the sheriff's office did a nice social media post for us for the class. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yep. Awesome. Anybody else for the next couple of months? I'm just thinking that, you know, it's good heads up if we know of any hamfests or if we know of any other events that would be valuable to improve our skills.
Well, I think improve our skills. You mean contest wise or some activity? We can, if the weather keeps up like this, Paul, maybe we should plan another POTA.
I'll meet you there.
Okay. I'll
bring the hot cocoa.
There you go.
I was going to say, I was at Roaring River, which there's some new POTA sites they just published. And Roaring River, kind of outside of Lebanon towards Scio, is now one. And Saturday, in an hour and 45 minutes on 15 meters, made 104 contacts.
Whoa.
Whoa.
And
Wow.
it was a fantastic experience.
Nice. And so that was a new entity, sort of, right?
That
New
was
new
entity.
park. So that was
yeah, second or third ham to activate it.
Wow. Florida's
Beautiful.
hot. Really?
That's great.
It was
Where were you
nonstop.
getting up to?
You go an hour and 45 minutes nonstop, you know, where they're piled up 4 or 5 deep. It wears on you.
Jeez.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah.
That's just warm up for the 7QP.
That's
I
right.
hope so. I hope so.
I gotta check out
So
of here.
all right, thank you, Andy. Yeah, and we'll start talking about upcoming things like in May, you know, and later meetings, I'm sure. As we get closer, we'll know more. I'm sure the snowpack up at the snow camp is probably suitable for snowmobiles at this point.
They don't call it snow park for nothing.
That's right.